So I was on the phone to my good friend, my brother, Michael Streets last night, and we were discussing the videos and some of the stuff that I've been uploading. And I've acknowledged this. I had a bad memory prior to getting completely clean off of drugs, and obviously there's still a lot of things that I'm not going to remember unless someone brings it up, reminds me, or talks about it, and it triggers an emotion, a memory, a feeling about that incident. Now, he was able to articulate a lot of, like, literally 6 or 7 stories that I'll now have to, like, tell and record. But yeah, I promise these ones will be short. So he reminded me of a couple of incidents that were just, they're just unbelievable to people that understand mechanics, strength, and rage. Like, now, I had 2 vehicles, and for whatever reason, being a dumbass, being drug fucked, I lost the keys to both vehicles. So both vehicles, the locks were locked, the steering wheel was locked, and you couldn't move the vehicles. And for that reason, as you can imagine, anyone that's been fried, cooked on drugs, using drugs, has a very short fuse, a very short temper. And I do. I don't, but I did. I could become very overwhelmed very quickly when it come to things that I had no control over. Like if I lost something, I couldn't find it and I needed it. Meltdown. But long story short, in a 12 or 18 month period, this happened twice, and he got to witness it both times. So it's funny because, like as I said, I'd have forgot these things. But so the first time, I had a vehicle parked out the front of Streetsy's house, and it was a ute, a Rodeo flat tray ute, 3-seater. So old, tough car, you know what I mean? And basically, I had a moment where I fucking flipped out because I couldn't move the car other than towing it or getting it on a trailer. Or we couldn't start it, we couldn't steer it, we couldn't move it. And that just, I've been trying for days to find these keys to get the steering lock off without completely dismantling the car to get the steering lock off. And basically I've had to flip out, punch the windscreen out, smash part of the dash, and then just in a fit of rage, I've grabbed the steering wheel and just started like yanking on it and screaming at the top of my lungs like a psycho, and snapped the steering wheel clean off at the column. So like anyone that knows how a steering column works, like as I said, you have to understand mechanics. The steering wheel's here, but it runs down a big thick metal shaft into the front of the engine bay of the vehicle, and it connects to the axle that when you turn that, it turns the wheels. So it's not just, some thin piece of metal, like it actually steers the vehicle, as you'd be aware. And yeah, just completely snapped it off, like at the shaft. So probably that far down the dash and just in between the firewall and where all your electrics are for your speedo and stuff. And naturally, that's just set me off even more, because now we've got to replace the steering column for the vehicle to even be used. Now, once I settled down and all the rest of it, we were talking about it, and he was just like, I can't believe you done that. That's unbelievable. Like, there must have been something wrong with that steering column. Had to have been. You can't, it's a round steel pole that steers a fucking 2-ton vehicle, or a 1.5-ton vehicle. There's no fucking way you just snap that with your bare hands. Anyway, we sort of got over that, and we didn't really, it come up a couple of times in conversation, whatever, but it was sort of unbelievable that it was just my rage and strength that gave me the ability to snap it. We were all sort of convinced that it may have had a crack in it, or it was chipped, or it was damaged already, you know what I mean? I didn't just break a brand new steering column. It was an old car, whatever. But then, yeah, literally 12 or 18 months later, I had a Subaru, a Impreza, and same deal. It was in my backyard. I had no way of starting it because I'd lost the key. The steering lock was on, and we couldn't get it out of the yard. So naturally, same deal. I'm going off my head, trying to fucking, do everything. And I have multiple people, the Streetsy included, and we're trying to fucking sort this car out because I'm getting agitated. I'm saying I'm going to set fire to it in my backyard. It's a piece of shit. All this sort of junky shit, like just dumb shit. And eventually I'm just like, nah, fuck it. And I've smashed the driver's side window out, ripped the door open, jumped in it, and same deal. Smashed the windscreen, punching like just smashing it, like get going off my head like a retard. And I don't know why it always comes back to, I think it's because I get sick of hurting myself by elbowing things, punching things, headbutting things when I get in them sort of states, that I'd always resort to brute force. And I've grabbed the steering wheel again, and I've put my arm through the back of the steering wheel and just yanked on it as hard as I fucking could, one way, and then went back the other way, bang, snapped it off at the steering column. So now I've just done it again, and now this car's fucked, and it's got to have the whole steering column replaced. Moral of the story is, these are just unbelievable, feats of strength that, unless you see it, you wouldn't believe it. If I was sitting here just saying, oh yeah, no, I snapped 2 steering columns. No one was there, but I did it. You wouldn't believe me, would you? You'd be like, fuck off, cunt, you talk shit. And when he said it to me, I was just like, oh wow, I actually remember that, and I can't believe it, because it's just like, it's retarded at the end of the day. That's the only way to explain it, is it's retarded. Like, why would you snap the one thing that you're trying to fix and make it worse? Like, each example, I made it worse. Dumbass. Don't do drugs, ladies and gentlemen. They're no good for you, and they'll wreck your life. God bless everyone. Have a great day. I hope that was somewhat entertaining for you.